Hello. Hello.
Yes, hello Ravi.
Yeah.
Hello
Hi.
Ravi.
Am I audible?
Yeah, you are. Ajay is also there in the meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hi.
hi. Yeah, hi.
And Navin Katampure.
Oh, okay, sir. Audible.
Yeah. So I'll start with initiating a new project. By creating a new project. So hope Ajay, you created the environment setup, right?
Yeah, Ravi.
React Native CLI, right?
I went with an expo, but yeah, I'll create CLI too.
Yeah. Just create the React Native CLI client and both iOS and Mac Android both setups.
Okay.
This will be easy. Like you just need to install the chocolatey. No, you need to install the homebrew. From homebrew, you can install the other dependencies. This will be easy only. Just a moment. So I just shared the curriculum in the chat box, Ajay. You can go through it once. Like you are able to see the screen, right? Like I'm sharing my screen, right?
Yeah.
So environment setup is one thing. App flow is one thing. Class components, I'll teach the basics because no one is using the class components now. Everyone is using the functional components. So like there may be some apps, old apps with class components. So I'll just teach the basics there so that you can handle in future. And the states, props, styling, uh, React Native components, UI components, and creating a custom components, npm library installations, debugging, API calling, and navigation from one screen to another. Asynchronous storage, it's like a shared preference you have in the Android, right?
Yeah.
So it's like that. Like if you want to persist any data, even after app is closed, like we can use the asynchronous storage and a Redux. So like I thought this will be the curriculum, and if you feel any topic is missing here, right, you can inform Ajay. I'll just add it.
Yes, Ravi. I think going forward, if something is there, I'll let you know.
Yeah, sure.
What about the SQLite? Like, do we use any SQLite in this one? Local database?
Local database, like Okay, I'll add it too.
Okay.
Actually, that's a third-party application. We have libraries for that.
Mhm. What about having the debug build, release build, changing from QA to prod, prod to QA? I mean, changing the splash screens, app icons.
That okay. Android, you might be aware of, right? Like how to change the app icons and things.
No. I mean, do we have like, I mean, I'm not pretty sure. Like, do we do it in the React Native code for both iOS
No,
and
no,
Android?
no,
Splash screens and app
no.
icons?
It will be separate in the iOS and app Android projects. Like
Oh,
we have
then.
that folders actually.
Mhm.
Mm. So for iOS, we have iOS and Android separate folders. So in Android, like how we do for a normal app, we go to a Android app, SRC, main, resources. Here we change the app icons, right?
Mhm.
So in the same way, we do it here. And do you have a basics of like iOS setup, Ajay?
I
Basic
mean,
setup
I don't
and
have
setup.
the native iOS, but have the in general, like
Like how we
there's
can change
the
the
aligning.
bundle IDs, what are provisioning profiles, everything you are aware of, right?
Yeah, I had an idea with an Xcode. Yeah.
Okay. So similar way we do it for Xcode too, like changing the app icons. These things. Like splash screen in the sense, mostly I'll handle it in the React Native side itself. Like we have set up for that in the native side also.
Mhm.
But for that we need to add this another library. So I just avoid adding this library actually.
Okay.
For a very minor fraction of seconds, white screen will come, and
Okay.
later I'll handle it in the React Native code itself.
Got it. Yeah.
Mm. Because these things change, like adding this splash screen will need to be changed some setup in the Android manifest something. Mhm.
Okay. I mean, usually how the people prefers, like in the company side, like when we
Like
adding
the
this.
launch mode. Like if it is a light mode app, right, Ajay?
Mhm.
So the screens will be normally white. So no one will like find the white screen popping suddenly.
Okay.
So if it is a normal light mode app, I'll just go with the React Native setup only. If there is any specific requirement for a dark mode screens, right? Like if the launch screen should pop up in a black screen. So how
Okay.
it would be like for a fraction of seconds, a white screen will pop up. Then the
Mhm.
black pop-up will come.
Right.
So in that scenario, I used to add this splash screen library. Otherwise, I'll go with the React Native setup only because
Okay.
that white pop-up, no one will notice that.
Okay.
So I created more than 10 apps actually. In only one app, I added the splash screen
Okay.
because like adding that, we should change this launch mode actually for adding that library. And if we change this, right, we will face some issues in the notifications library actually.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I keep avoiding that.
Okay.
So iOS and Android, like as you said, you are already aware, right? So I'll just skip this
Yeah,
one.
and another thing is like, I mean, when we add this splash screens and app icons,
Mhm.
do we have something like to change from QA to prod and prod to QA, like some third party library or something like Grunt or something you use, or how
No,
do we change, or manually do we change?
manually, like I I worked with the client actually. They have separate requirement for client and QA and DI environments. So there I
Okay.
used React Native config library. I'll show you how that looks. Mm, I'll show it in the. So here we'll put some environment files, Ajay.
Okay.
So this is a normal environment. This is dev environment, production environment, QA environment.
Okay.
So based on the uh, build we trigger,
Mm-hmm.
this UI will not change, only this APIs will change. And
Right.
whatever we want to change, right, we can place them here.
Mm-hmm.
So how we can trigger the particular builds are like this. If you want to run the application, right, till here it is sufficient. This command is sufficient. npx react native run and right. But if you
Mm-hmm.
want to defer the build,
Okay.
we should add this extra command variant dev debug. Or if it is a release, dev release like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So based on this command, it will pick the particular environment file and place the variables there.
Okay.
Someone is waiting in the lobby, it seems, Manoj Kumar.
And how we mention the app icons over here?
App icons, we will handle it in the native side itself, Ajay.
Okay.
So app icons will not vary based on the environment actually.
Mm-hmm.
But if we want to uh, like, do you have any specific requirement that app icon should vary with the environment?
I mean, yeah, before when I worked, they had the QA tag on top of the app icon, like for the QA release. And for
Okay.
prod, it would be just like a normal icon without any tag. I mean, only the app icons differs. Anyway, inside, we'll change the
Uh,
URL. Just
okay.
for the
Like
purpose of
if you want to change the app icon also, right? Like
Mhm.
how you will do it in the native side? Like before you work with Ionic and the native Android, right? How you used to handle it there?
I mean, I never went like that far. I mean, all the time, I went with Ionic only. I just had the base
Okay.
knowledge on the native Android and
So
everything.
here, right? Like we should create this main folder is there, right?
Mm-hmm.
In parallel to this main folder, we should create that flavor folder actually, like a dev or QA or production, anything.
Okay.
We should create that flavor folder like with the same name.
Mm.
So if we place the app icons or any assets there, right, it will pick those assets instead of picking from main.
Okay.
You got my point, right?
Yeah, got
I
it.
just show you that once you'll get an idea. So here I have Digitrack, Sub-Zero, and Market. Assume these are dev, QA, and
Prod.
production.
Mm.
Just assume. So in Android folder, right, I will maintain the folder structure like this. Not just main. I'll
Mm.
maintain the Digitrack there and the Sub-Zero and marken. Where is marken?
Okay.
In these folders, right, I'll maintain the resources folder, and inside that I'll have this what we call icon folders and the strings folder,
Okay.
which indicates the app name. So when I run the DG track, right, it will not pick up these assets from the main folder. It will pick up from the DG track folder, and this particular app name will come, and this particular app icons will come.
Okay.
And if I run the Sub-Zero, right, only these folders will be taken from the Sub-Zero, and remaining folders will be taken from the main folder. So whatever we define in the what we call this flavor folder, those will pick, and remaining will be taken from the main folder.
Okay.
These values will be overridden by main folder.
Okay.
So like that, we can maintain the separate app icons or any assets related thing, native set related thing.
Yeah. Okay.
And in the iOS also, same way. We need to create the targets there. Hope you are familiar with that, right? Targets terminology.
Yeah.
So here, like for Android, there are many clients there. But for iOS, only few clients take in the iOS apps actually. So these 4 take in the iOS apps. So I create a separate target for each and every client there. Like our app is like Ajay, it's like a with the same base code, we build a multiple apps actually.
Okay.
So if a new client comes, right, we will just create a new target, and we will give separate APK for them. Hope you are clear, Ajay.
Yes, Ravi.
So this is IoT related applications, which handles the IoT devices actually, which displays those values. So like our company produces the hardware also for IoT devices. So for those hardwares, like we used to give this apps also to monitor. So if you if you have any requirement for any hardware sensors, right, you will come to our company and you will ask for a few devices, and we will give the devices along with this application. So we will create a separate application for you, and we'll share it with you. That APK will only be there with you actually. Like, no one else will access that.
Oh, okay.
Who is Manoj? Like, do you have any idea? So here, generally, how you used to handle the app icons, Ajay?
I mean, I haven't done through this Xcode. I mean, before, like within Ionic, I used to have like separate folders. Like, yeah, we used to integrate within the code base only, not it over here. After integrating the code base, it used to reflect over here like this.
Okay. So we will add a new app icons here actually. iOS app icons. So
Okay.
after adding the app icons, like we will place all the uh, pictures here, images here with respect to the sizes. And then we have this option actually in target, selected target. We have general tab. There we have an option to select the app icons. So whatever we add in the images, right? those will come here.
Mhm.
And we can pick whatever we want. Like for DigiTrack, I selected the app icon. For PVR, I selected the PVR app icon. Like that.
Okay.
And splash screens also same thing. Ajay. In this project only, I handle the splash screens actually. In remaining all, I used to have the blank splash screen only. So this comes with a dark mode actually. That's why I handle in the native side.
Okay.
So for every app, I used to create one splash screen file, and we can select that here, launch screen file. We have a drop down here, and we can pick from there.
Okay.
So you are aware of the pods, right? Cocoa pods.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, like for certain libraries, we need to install the pods. Yeah, that time I were like not deep into that from the native side.
Okay. So I'll just create a React Native app here.
Okay.
So the command will be npx react native unit project name. So it will download the latest template from React Native Git actually, and create a project here.
Okay. I mean, yeah, Ravi, I mean, before getting into this one, do we discuss the native components like the camera and then other things like the hardware related thing within mobile
Actually, Ajay, that all comes under
library?
third-party integrations actually.
Oh, okay.
So for everything we want, we will be having separate libraries there. So React. So this is what we use generally. So before installing any library, right, we should check few things actually, like
Okay.
what are the weekly downloads,
Mm-hmm.
whether it is high or low. If it is high, it is popular,
Right.
and last published a year ago. So this is not maintained actually, and
Okay.
here they mentioned looking for maintenance or back. So it is deprecated in the favor of React Native Vision Camera. So we should use this library, Vision Camera. So in this library, right, they will mention all the things like regarding the installation or usage, anything.
Okay.
These third-party libraries will provide all the documentation there. So you can simply, so this is for installation. So few things need to be changed for iOS and Android. Like we need to add the camera permissions there.
Okay. And Ravi, when we are like going through this thing, like the third party or something, certain libraries might have some issues, right? I mean, within our project. So sometimes we need to touch the native code for iOS and Android, like in order to edit that one. So when doing that one, do we usually do on a regular basis, like as a React developer, do we touch the native code frequently, or like how is it?
No, we don't touch the native code, Ajay.
Okay.
Generally, if there is any issues, right, with any libraries, like we used to search for those issues, and some solutions might be there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So mostly we will handle it in the here itself, like build.gradle file, or any settings.gradle or what. Yeah. This Gradle files only we will touch, like we will not go deep into the library native code, and we will not modify that.
Okay.
Mhm. We will just change some parameters, like most of the issues will be related to this versions only, like compile SDK version, target SDK version, these things only.
Okay.
Otherwise, if you want to set some parameters anywhere, like some solutions they will give, we'll just check those solutions, and like if it is not resolved it, right, we will try for another library. That's it.
Okay.
We will not be going to any native code of the libraries, actually.
Okay.
So all the usages will be given by the third party libraries documentation only, Ajay.
Okay. And Ravi, when we are like building this one, the React Native in CLI, after running the project, usually like how people check it in their own device or like within the emulator.
Uh, I generally check it in the emulator,
Okay.
Ajay.
Okay. I mean, which is
Because
like
we can check
easy
in
to
the
do that.
sorry.
I mean, which is easy to do that one, like checking in the own or like going with the emulator only.
Emulator is better,
Okay.
because checking in the own devices, right? We need to connect with the USBs, or through Wi-Fi. Like the connection is not connection will not be stable, actually. Sometimes we used to like that cable will disconnect
Right.
sometimes,
Right.
so we need to run it again. So emulators are far easy for me. Like I mostly use iOS simulators only, not the Android emulators too, uh,
Okay.
because that UI, right, I just like it.
Right. I mean, in terms of like UI, do we check for both Android and iOS, or like we fix for iOS and then we try to do the same thing for Android,
Uh,
like at the time of
generally,
checking?
right, UI will not vary, Ajay, for Android and iOS. UI
Okay.
will not vary. So what I generally do is, like, I'll write the entire code and check it in the simulator itself, iOS simulator itself.
Okay.
Once some particular code is done or feature is done, right, then I'll check with the
Android.
yeah, then I'll check with the Android.
Okay.
So I'll check in the emulator and the device to Ajay. Like in my own device, I'll check in the both
Okay.
emulator and my mobile.
Okay. I mean, in terms of debugging, like how we will do here. I mean, in Ionic we have the web one.
Hmm?
In the website, like we just inspect. I mean, like how we do the web elements, right? So we try to adjust the UI by fixing the fonts or something, right?
Okay.
So how we do the debugging over here? I mean, usually React Native, is it like time taking or easy?
It is easy only, Ajay.
Okay.
Like we will be having few developer options actually in the mobile. Like if the app is in debug mode, and if we shake the device, we will get a pop-up actually there, like for reloading the application or debugging the application or inspecting, like that. So
Okay.
if you select the debug, right, the debugger will open in the Chrome browser. So whatever we like do actions in the mobile, right, those console logs and everything will reflect in the Chrome browser. So there we will inspect there and
Okay. I mean, like for the sometimes like the app suddenly crashes, right? I mean, we don't know exactly how it happens, but like when we
no,
crash,
for debug mode, right? For every crash, we will get that logs.
okay,
So in release mode, it is a bit hard to find actually.
oh, okay,
But in debug mode, if it crashes, right, we will know the exact reason why it is crashing.
okay.
So whenever we init a project, right, you will get this template.
Okay.
So we will get a package .json file
Mm-hmm.
and index.json file. So I explained this in the previous class, but there are few new persons, right? Like I'll just go through these ones.
Okay.
So we'll get the packages.json file where we add all the dependencies and scripts there, and index.js is the main entry point of the project, and here we will route the app to app file like this app.tsx.
And one more thing, Ravi, do we use the JavaScript or TypeScript like nowadays, like everywhere?
I am using JavaScript only, Ajay.
Okay.
Like I'm planning to migrate to TypeScript actually because that is more type safe, right?
Mm.
So like JavaScript only I mostly use, but I'm planning to have this TypeScript too. Uh, these both are like these both don't have much difference actually. Only we will define the types without like in the JavaScript, right? Simply this is like this function app of function. In the
Yeah.
TypeScript we will provide the type too. And we will get these flow actually. We're running out of time. So here we can select the target actually, and the emulator which we want to run. I'll select iPhone 13 Pro Max. We run the application. It will start running. Actually, after installing any library or anything, right? Few things we need to do. One thing is to install npm packages. Like if you run npm install, it will run like it will install all the application, like libraries there, and later we need to run this command cd space iWays. We need to go to iWays folder, then run pod install, like that will install the native iWays dependencies. Then we need to come back to project folder. So these things we need to take care. And once we run the application, right, there is a bundler, like server kind of bundler will start. We need to close that and we need to start it again to make sure all the libraries are linked properly.
Do we close the bundler and then start again? I mean,
Yeah. Like it is not yet started, Ajay. So once this like build completes, right, the bundler will start. The purpose of that bundler is like it will watch our code. If there is any changes, right, it will reflect it in the app, like a server kind of thing, socket kind of thing. So if you change any code, that will automatically reflect in the app, right? If you save the code.
yeah.
So for that, that server is needed. And like we only have 2 minutes, Ajay. So when you are installing this React Native CLI, right, make sure you check all the points here. Like don't miss anything here. macOS, Android. So homebrew is mandatory. Like if you simply copy like these comments, right, it won't be
Right.
like it won't install. So here they mention the homebrew. You need to go there and install the homebrew first. Then you need to install these comments. And the Watchman, you need to install from this link.
Okay.
And so there are few things which is mentioned inside the this articles. So you need to follow all the steps
Okay.
without missing anything. Like if you miss anything, right, like we may not know what we missed exactly, and we will keep on like debugging the things again.
Okay.
And iOS is pretty straightforward. You just need to install the Xcode from App Store, and we need to install the Cocoa Pods. So for Android, you already have this Android setup, right, Ajay?
Yeah.
Android and iOS setup you already have. You just
Yeah.
need to install this homebrew, like React Native kind of related libraries. And so this is the Metro bundler actually, this server which connects our code and the application, Ajay.
Okay.